Thank you for joining us today as we have Howard Reynolds and Robert Harding presenting Empowering the Inner Healer. And thank you to Project Bring Me to Life for streaming and recording this so that we can share it with people in the future. I would like to introduce you guys to Howard and Robert. Howard has over 25 years of experience with traditional Chinese medicine, with his acupuncture, as well as he studied for 6 to 7 years with the Mayans down in the Yucatan Peninsula. And he is located here in Cumberland as an acupuncturist, and he's very well known and loved and respected. This is Robert Harding, and he joins us from London. Robert has 16 years of experience in healing, and his journey is very amazing because it started with a vision of Mary. And through his belief in God and following through with synchronicity, he has been led to the Hopi land and inspired to write his own book, Blue Star, as well as recording a CD of his own personal music about his journey and the information that he's received from God's source. So I hope that you guys enjoy this time and learn something wonderful from it. Thank you for sharing the space.
Thank you, Jody. Thanks, Jody. I thought we'd start today by just allowing ourselves to come into the room and into the present moment, to release all the activity and the experiences we've had this morning up into this time. So I'll guide you through a little bit of what I refer to as gathering and enlightening of awareness. So if you just close your eyes and allow yourself to settle into your chair. And just in the experience of this brief moment of silence, we're going to allow ourselves to release all frequencies and energies of the morning. Whoever we interacted with, we bring our energy back here, leaving love and light with those individuals we spoke with or thought about. And we also open our magnetic nature and send the energy back to them with love and light so that we're totally disconnected magnetically and dynamically, and all of our energy and all of our awareness is here in this room, into the present moment. And as we bring our consciousness in here, we allow ourselves to begin to slow our breathing. Breathe in softly through the nostrils and exhale through the mouth. And in your own way and time, take about 6 deep, slow breaths from the abdomen on up through the belly and up into the chest. And in this silence, we'll cultivate this time of coming together into the one divine mind here. Okay, very good. Thank you. I find when I lead meditation classes or workshops, it's just important at the beginning just to slow down, come together, move more into that place of silence. And then from there, we just let the words and let life emerge. So the name of this workshop is Empowering the Healer Within. And so when Jody asked about questions and answers, I have some built-in questions during our talk here. And we can have a time at the end for questions and answers, but there's going to be interactive time, so it's built in. So if questions do come up, just sort of file them, and then at the end we'll give you time to ask questions and be happy to answer them. Okay. So my first question is, who's the healer within? Empowering the healer within. Who's the healer within? So if you were to look within and you say, well, here's my healer, what would that look like? Who is that? Now, determining your interactive time here answering this question will also be the amount of time you get for questions and answers at the end. No, just teasing. So, what would you say? What would you say? Who is that healer within that steps forth and is there for others, there for oneself? Yeah, Jody, you got a smile on your face.
For me, it is the person that is removed from ego and fears and that is connected to the divine source that allows that love to channel through.
Beautiful. Lovely. Thank you. Yeah. You can't get this wrong. No wrong answers here. What's your experience? What's your experience? Who's the healer within you? Heals you? Yes, yes.
The person that lives to help people and anything.
Beautiful. Comes out of that place of service. Oh, thank you.
On that one, I agree with her.
You're going to ditto that one?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Anybody else? Okay. So that part of us, that part that is serving, that divine self, that soul, that immortal self, that self that we can actually get in touch with and experience, that soul, that immortal self. What Jody was referring to has nothing to do with our personal self, with our ego. In fact, the whole process of uncovering and springing forth the healer has to do with letting go of your personal history, stopping defining yourself separately. It's going into that connection with the soul and that divine light and that connection to that divine source. It's a co-creative expression of light and power. So when we open to it, we can actually go in and hopefully we'll give you a couple experiences today to get in touch with that soul, get in touch with that light. And so it's predicated, it's dependent upon that connection that we have with whatever you want to call the Holy Spirit, divine intelligence. So it's that soul and eternal light that I am and that God is. So it gets back to the I am that I am. Yeah, higher self. I also want to talk a little bit about perception, because perception, how I'm perceiving myself, is going to determine my heaven or my hell. So how I'm seeing myself, how I'm defining myself, the perception I hold of life is either one of expansion or it's one of contraction. So when Jody was saying about the personal egoic self, that self that wants to make ourselves important, wants to get noticed, It's a lot of conditioning in that personal self. That needs to be sloughed off. You know, we have our own timing and our own organic way of doing it. So the perception of when I spoke of the I am that I am, the Father's kingdom has many mansions. So once again, it gets back to, we say, who's the healer? Who am I? See, I am those many mansions. You know, I am the many dimensions of life, just like you are. Everybody pretty much relates to the physical third dimensional world. We of course know that. It's there, it's tractable, it's visible, it's palpable. And a lot of people now know about the energy body and the energy world. We're in the sea of energy. So those two dimensions, people, for the most part, are aware of. Some people aren't even aware of energy. But so we got a physical body, we got an energy body. Then we have these other inner bodies of perceptual body, emotional body, mental body, that we're working through the conditioning to, in the perceptual body, be the perception, the I am that I am. The emotional body, let go of the fear and the anger and be in the emotional body of joy and unconditional love. And we got the mental body of the thoughts that allow our mental body to be mind of God awareness. So as we're working through these inner bodies, we're processing things, letting things go. And then here's the transition point. We move into the eternal soul, is the next body of light. And from there on, all these mansions of God, all these dimensions within ourselves don't have any conditioning in them. So we can experience our soul. We've got an angelic body. We've got an archetypal body. We've got a more expansive galactic body, and we have a universal body. So here we are, this multidimensional, very expansive self, opening up to begin to experience the healer within, the I am that I am, the many mansions, the many dimensions of who we are. So the reason I'm putting words to this is because how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself is going to determine, like I said before, your joy or your contractedness, your limitations. So you want to begin to open up to experience the many dimensions of who you are. And there's meditative processes, there's meditations that you can do that. You can actually hang out in your angelic body and experience it vibrationally, and you have a lot better possibility to communicate telepathically with the angelic kingdom. So that's the reason perception is so essential, because if we're in our perception of the physical world and if we're expanding out a little bit into the energy world and we don't even know, because see, most people think, well, I got a soul, I guess I'll experience it when I die. Well, it's here right now. See, everything's here right now. Your galactic body of light, this great galactic heritage that you are, is here, just vibrating. So what we have to do is open our spiritual eyes and our perception and expand out into it. So very exciting. It's very exciting to know that we have the tools and the opportunities to be able to expand out. And see, where does joy abide? Joy abides in the spacious expansiveness that we are. It doesn't abide down in the ego and the survival and the fear, and I got to do this today, and I'm, don't do that, there's something wrong. You got to begin to release all of that and allow yourself to move out into this expansive, multidimensional, beautiful, radiant, magnificent self, the light that you are. So that's my talk on perception. So I said that. So the light, the multidimensional nature that we are, has many dimensions. That light, the two closest emanations to God are light and sound. And we're going to have a couple meditative experiences today with light, with our own inner light, our collective light here, and sound. We're going to do a couple mantras too today. So light, when it translates, just what you would just say from the throne of God, when this eternal light that's in, throughout, and all about, here on earth and through galaxies and universes. And let me get back to universes, because universes, to have a perception that allows you to flow into all that you are, we're in a one and a many universe. We have this universe that we're here in, or this galaxy, solar system we're in. We also have the universe we're in, but there's many universes. So if I perceive myself as being in the many universes and it's open-ended, and I allow myself to expand out into all this, boy, the flow of life and light and energy that flows through me is inexhaustible. See, that's the invitation for all of us, is to step up and open our perception and be in that power, to be in that co-creative energy and light. So the light and the sound, closest emanations to God. The light then, that we are, the eternal light, then comes down into energetic energy. Light translates into energy. Light has information. So each of us are energetic beings that have particular energetic signatures. We're all sort of the patchwork quilt of God here, and in our many energies and expressions, we have energetic signatures. That's our particular spiritual gifts that we can share. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is that I want to talk a little bit from the light of God to the energy of God that we are, and talk about the 4 laws of energy. Because they're important laws to know. They're laws of physics. They're laws of traditional Chinese medicine. There are basic laws of just perception and awareness. And so if you think of these laws in your own time, if you meditate into them, it will assist you in your daily living. So the first law is awareness directs thought. So wherever my awareness is, it's going to begin to direct my thought. My awareness is in the news and late at night and all the homicides in Baltimore that's going on. My thought's going to be there. It leads into the second law, which is thought directs energy. Energy follows thought. Very powerful law. So our minds will replace our awareness, and then that thought, which directs the energy, and energy follows thought. Guess what? That's my experience out there. That's what I'm seeding. That's what I'm putting into my energetic field and into the world. So thought directs energy. Energy follows thought. That's the second law. The third law is where there's pain, from mild to acute pain, there's a block to the flow of life energy. Used a lot in energetic medicine, homeopathy, Ayurvedic, acupuncture. The energetic systems of medicine know that. They know they got to open up those blocks to the flow of life energy. Fourth law is where I place my awareness, there my experience will be. So if I place my awareness of the light being channeled down into my shoulder, there my experience will be there. So those 4 laws of energy are wonderful to meditate into. They're wonderful to be sort of like signposts along the way of life, to be able to guide me. Say, what am I thinking, Are my thoughts separative thoughts? Are they judgmental thoughts? Because any separative or judgmental thoughts, the sword is right above your head, because it's going to come back to you. So in that place of cultivating your life, of choosing the kinds of experiences you're going to have, those thoughts are essential, and your mind is a focalizing agent to begin to choose those thoughts. Will, like I said before, either bring you into a place of joy and flow and light and love, or it'll bind you down into an egoic place of fear and survival. So, okay, I'll tell you what. I was going to do like a little brief meditation first. Is that okay?
Of course.
And let me, before we do the meditation, let's just take a few minutes. Do you have any questions so far? I wasn't going to do it at the end, but I feel like I'm just hearing right now. It'd be good to take a few minutes right now if you have any questions before we do a meditation.
Could you review the 4
laws?
Just
Awareness directs thought. Second law is thought directs energy, and energy follows thought. Third law is where there's pain, from mild to acute pain. Now, this pain can be on an emotional level too. It can be on the pain doesn't have to be on a physical, energetic level. Where there's pain, from mild to acute pain, there's a block to the flow of life energy. And where I place the awareness of my thought, there my life experience will be. So wherever we're placing our awareness, that's where I'm focusing my life energy. So, yeah, those are 4 laws. Any other questions?
I'm just trying to keep myself awake. I didn't sleep so well last night.
Oh, you didn't sleep very well last night. Okay, well, you know this meditation coming up, it'll be perfect.
Okay.
Because you'll either go into this beautiful, expanded state of light and joy, or you'll fall asleep. And if you fall asleep, it's perfect because you need to sleep. Okay? All right. So we're going to spend a little time working with our inner light. Now, the inner living light that we are is eternal. It's immortal. Yet it's right here available for us. So this particular meditation is a very simple meditative technique that you can use on your own. And the only thing you have to do is just listen to the words. It's like think, let, observe, and experience. You don't have to visualize this. You don't have to picture it. You know, if you say, well, I can't see this, what you're doing. Sometimes trying to visualizing it and trying to make an image of it takes you away from the experience. So it's important that you just let the light come in and have the experience. Think, let, observe, and experience. Okay? All right. Maybe we could turn could we turn the lights off? I think it would just facilitate. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So when we meditate, it's good to, just feel your sits bones on the chair. You're settling into the chair. Have your feet on the floor. It's not a good idea to cross your arms or cross your legs because we're actually going to bring the light down through our body. So as you settle into your meditative position, I want you to move your awareness to a point which is 6 inches directly above the top of your head. And this point is actually a chakra or a center of energy, which is referred to as the upper room. Not one of the 7 major chakras, but it's a center of energy that allows you to open more to your higher self, more to your soul. It's almost like a portal or a gateway into your higher self. So as you move your awareness 6 inches directly above the top of your head, experience a point of light. And that point of eternal living light that you are is crystal white light. And move your awareness right into that point of crystal white light. And as the saying goes, the size of a mustard seed has great power. Experience the power of this crystal white light, this point of crystal white light, expanding out and becoming a 3-inch crystal white star. You may see it in different forms. You may not see it at all. It doesn't make any difference. Thought directs energy and energy follows thought. You're now in your upper room here within your crystal white star. Sometimes it's a 6-pointed star, which is sometimes referred to as a star tetrahedron. Sometimes it's a 5-pointed star. It's different for everybody. And so in the experience of the vibration of this crystal white star, experience it opening and send a downpour of the crystal white light down into the head area. And just think of the top of your head open. It's like your crown chakra opens. This 1,000-petaled lotus opens and the crystal white light pours into your crown chakra, allowing the petals, allowing the opening of your crown chakra here as the crystal white light infuses this chakra. And it pours easily and gently into the brain and into the left hemisphere and right hemisphere and begins to harmonize both sides of the brain here. The crystal white light flowing easily and gently, it floods into your eyes, and watch how the comforting quality of the crystal white light begins to relax your eyes. And the more relaxed the crystal white light allows the structures of your body to become, the more they're receptive to receiving the crystal white light. As it floods down into your face, floods through the 12 pairs of cranial nerves in your face and head, and actually flows now into your wisdom center here at midbrain, another chakra here, crystal white light, inviting you into that one divine mind, that mind of God awareness that we all share. Crystal white light filling your wisdom center here, pouring easily and gently down the back of your neck through your cervical spine. Watch how your spine relaxes as it flows into your throat here in your throat chakra, which is right behind your Adam's apple, your laryngeal prominence here, the crystal white light. And the throat chakra, the center for creative expression now, is now open and balanced, inviting us into the co-creative expression with God, with Holy Spirit, with all those hierarchies of light here. And the crystal white light continues to flow down through your shoulders and into your chest area, and let your lungs just open, the bronchial tubes, bronchioles, crystal white light nourishing your respiratory system. Pouring. And this happens very quickly. The co-pilot of this session is your higher self, so there's not any efforting that's happening here. This light's just directed instantaneously as it flows instantaneously now into your heart. Crystal white light. All 4 chambers of your heart being touched. Floods into your liver, a large organ, the upper right-hand side of your chest area. Crystal white light, nourishing your liver, reminding all the cells of the liver, the connection via the crystal white light to the being of light. Very comforting. Pouring into your heart chakra now, crystal white light, allowing a veil to be transmuted here in your heart chakra that allows you to open to the embrace of the unconditional love that you are and are always held in by God. Always. You're loved every single moment with such power and beauty if we could just open our heart to experience how we're loved. Good. And let this crystal white light flood now on down into your solar plexus chakra, which is right at the tip of your sternum, your breastbone. And let the crystal white light fill now your solar plexus chakra, this center of energy of the expressiveness of your empowerment, connected very much, as I shared earlier, with perception. How are we empowered? We're empowered by the I am that I am. Allowing your solar plexus chakra to move into the full expression of your divine power. Flooding now into your gallbladder, which is right below your liver, through the hepatic duct here. And this crystal white light has a very powerful healing quality, so your organ systems are really being nourished now and strengthened and tonified. Flooding into your stomach, crystal white light, relaxing your stomach, infusing all the cells of your stomach here. Crystal white light flooding into your pancreas, which is right beside your stomach, into the Isle of Langerhans, which produce the insulin, balancing your blood sugar, healing the blood sugar level if it needs to be healed. Flooding now into your spleen, right underneath your left rib cage, crystal white light, strengthening, infusing, vibrationally lifting the spleen into its full functions. Pouring now into the abdominal area, going down into your sacral plexus chakra, about 1.5 inches below your navel, right in the center of your body, crystal white light. The center for regenerative, generative power used by the martial artist, sometimes referred to as the Dantian, sometimes referred to as the Hara in Japanese martial arts. Good, and let it flood through your small intestine and your large intestine, crystal white light, clearing any blockages, any obstructions here as it easily and gently floods into your root chakra, your base chakra here, beginning to circulate through your base chakra to begin to activate the Kundalini energy here, allowing the uncoiling, the unveiling of the energy, that serpentine energy that when you're ready, and your higher self knows when you're ready, will begin to send it up your spinal column. In preparation now, we activate it. Good. We also send another waterfall-like downpour from your star down your back. So from our star here, 6 inches directly above the top of your head, send that crystal white light right down through your spinal column, through your cervical spine and your neck, through your thoracic spine. And as it floods down through your spinal column, experience it moving into the cerebrospinal fluid even that moves through the central nervous system, flooding crystal white light down into your lumbar spine, the lower back here. Watching as it goes down into the lower back, how it junctions inside your body into your adrenal glands, which sit atop your kidneys, crystal white light. And pours now into your kidneys, crystal white light. Into the seminiferous tubules, the filtration canals of your kidneys, to allow your kidneys to function more optimally. Pouring through the ureters and into your bladder, crystal white light. And pouring now down into your generative systems. And your generative organs as well are infused by the crystal white light. Flooding easily and gently out through your hips and down through your legs now, crystal white light. Actually think of the arches of your feet being open as the flowing of the crystal white light floods through your legs, your knees, lower legs, down through your ankles, into your feet, and right out through the arches of your feet as this flood of crystal white light floods down into the earth. And so, in a very gentle, effortless way, the crystal white light floods from your star through your whole body, washing out any energies, anything within your beloved creation, within your body that it's no longer necessary to be there. It's ready to release any kind of stagnation, anything in your body that's of old energies that no longer serve you. Just through your own spiritual inner sight, watch as the inexhaustible crystal white light from your star floods through your body and heals and nourishes, strengthens. It's releasing, and yet at the same time, it's healing, and it's filling, and it's nourishing every organ, every cell, every molecule, every atom, every subatom. All these different levels as your higher self just directs this activity. You, the personality, can't do this. But the being of light that you are can do it effortlessly. Good, and now think of the arches of your feet closing. We're going to backfill. And as we backfill, experience how the structures of your body just melt into and relax into this crystal white light. Backfilling first through your feet and your ankles. Backfilling through your lower legs and your knees. Crystal white light backfilling through your upper legs and your hips. It's just easy and effortless. Backfilling through your generative organs and your pelvic bowl, your lower gastrointestinal tract here, colon, small intestine. Backfilling through your urinary system, bladder, ureters, kidneys, crystal white light. Backfilling on up through the midsection of your body now. Once again, touching into those organ systems from left to right, backfilling through your spleen, through your pancreas. Crystal white light backfilling through your stomach, and backfilling through your gallbladder. On up, backfilling through your liver now, crystal white light. Backfilling through your heart. Backfilling through your lungs, crystal white light. Backfilling through your hands and your arms now. On up. From the lower back, lumbar, thoracic, backfilling through your shoulders, up through the neck area, backfilling on up through the face and head, eyes. The brain, once again, is just touched and radiantly lighted by the crystal white light. Light's information, the eternal living light that you are, bringing information into the structures of your body here. Backfilling all the way to the very top of your head, and allow it to overspill from your head all down around your body like a crystal white robe or crystal white cloak, so that your aura, the energy around your body is radiantly lighted by crystal white light. Good. Now think of the downpour from your star coming to a halt. And with enlightened awareness in your hands and in your feet, when you're ready to open your eyes, feel free to do so. Okay, so just take your time coming out of the meditation. We've got our Johnstown people walking in here. We'll take a few minutes here to return the lights on now. Joe.
Got lost.
That's what I was saying, and I looked on my cell phone and I didn't see any message. I looked around 1:30, maybe one.
We did call, but.
Did you? Okay. Well,
the Fairfield Inn lady was very.
What's that?
The Fairfield Inn lady.
Oh, the Fairfield Inn down to Marriott.
She
Okay.
She was beautiful.
typed it in, printed it out, and got us here.
Okay. Well, good.
Fairfield Inn, great lady.
So I'll backtrack just a little bit to fill you in. We're going to have another meditative experience, and Robert's going to be sharing some things here pretty soon. So, it's probably good. I'll just take a minute or two. We'll let people settle in here for just a minute. There's too much activity there. You need more of a straight back chair, Kim? Sure. Right.
And straight back.
Forgot where I was there for a second. During the meditation.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it can take you out to expanded states where it's timeless. Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good, though.
I feel every word I said.
Right. Well, let me remind you. Huh?
You're doing brilliant. Well, thank you. Wonderful meditation.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if you have cell phones, please take time to turn them off.
I had the name of the place in the street.
Yeah, if you've come for the workshop, you can stay.
I'll be back. She's looking for somebody else.
Oh, she's looking for somebody else. Oh, okay. Are we all? Oh, we still got one person in the bathroom. Well, we can start sharing experiences. So we just did a meditative experience, the Johnstown contingency. The Johnstown contingency. There we go. We just did a meditation on the star, like inner star, and we channeled light, crystal white light through like the organ systems and the chakras. So you were already a part of that, even though you weren't physically in the room. You've already received the meditation. And then we did a backfill, one up through the body, of the crystal white light. So we're just going to take a minute or so to, it's really good when you have a meditative experience. It's been my experience in the past. If you share a little bit about your experience, what it does, it helps you to ground you more in the experience. It brings it to life a little more, but it also allows other members of the group to, it's like a gift to them, because we're all going to have different experiences in our meditations. So if somebody would like to share what that experience, there's no right or wrong. Your experience is beautiful and sacred and perfect. So who would like to share their perfect sacred experience?
I'll share a very sacred experience I had this morning. Just because I went up on the mountain yesterday, a Native American shaman who buried his ashes at the medicine wheel up in Huntington. And last night a bat was in my bedroom at 2 o'clock in the morning, and bat symbolizes rebirth and
Wow.
the death of the person and coming into shamanic healing energies.
Beautiful.
And this morning, my meditation on the mountain in Johnstown, just above where I live, anyhow, it was all about boundaries.
About what, excuse me?
Boundaries.
Boundaries, uh-huh. Yeah.
Being aware of boundaries and releasing of old boundaries so that you can heal.
Beautiful. Beautiful. This is a perfect segue into boundaries. We're talking about boundaries. We're talking about expansion through perception, and how that we do have different dimensions vibrationally of who we are, from our physical and energetic bodies and our personality bodies of emotional, mental, perceptual, but then our soul and our higher dimensional bodies of light. So within the context that light breaks down into dimensions or boundaries, we also have this eternal light that floods through all the kingdoms, all the dimensions that we're all part of, and we all can feast in together. We can all have a banquet together in this eternal light. So a lot of the talk to begin with had a lot to do with perception, and how we perceive ourselves will determine our life experience. So the I am that I am is essential. I am one with God. I am the Father's many mansions. I am the many dimensions of life and light. And that's, we covered that. And the power of co-creativity in that with the Holy Spirit, with divine intelligence, with the intermediaries of the angelic kingdoms, the hierarchies of light. That's all part of the empowerment of the co-creative process we're being invited into. And really in the Aquarian age, there's so many beings junctioning in right now that, you know, it's almost essential that you begin to open your heart to your guides, whether they're angelic presences or ascended masters, or Jesus, Buddha, inner physician healers. There's medical teams on the inner planes that can come in and heal you and work with you. So that's I'm giving you a pretty quick synopsis of what we covered.
What time did it start, Howard?
1 o'clock.
You told me 2 to 4. I
Well-
had written down 2 to 4.
Yeah.
We didn't even, I thought we were 5 or 10 minutes late because, I'm sorry, you told me 2 to 4, so I had written down 2 to 4.
Okay.
So I had no idea it started at 1. We were aiming for 2.
Yeah.
And we were doing pretty good because we got lost and got here about 10 after 2. I
Yeah.
did not know it started at 1. I had written 2 to 4.
That's all right.
Because you were saying about what you're covering, I thought we got here at 10 after 2.
Yeah.
I don't know how we
How we
missed
cover
it.
that much, right?
Yeah, we got here
Right.
at 10 after 2 and it started at 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
It started at 1.
Hey,
I have it written down.
it's all,
2 to 4.
it's all the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. It's all in divine order, and yeah. I mean, I probably said 2 to 4, so you'd meet the lady down at the Fairfield, you know, the Marriott, Fairfield Inn, and have an experience. I don't know. Who knows? Huh? Who knows? But it's all in divine order. We're all marching to this divine synchronistic experience here today. Okay? So how you hold your perception of it's going to determine your experience. So we hold it in divine order and divine flow, and we're flowing. Can you feel the flow in here? We're moving, we're flowing, it's happening. So, okay. Do you want to share some things?
Isn't it great? Isn't it great? I should be over there.
No.
Right back at the beginning, Howard talked about the inner self. There's an inner higher self in every single one of us. Now, I didn't know this when I was told I was going to be a healer. I didn't know this at all. I just was told I was going to be a healer, so I thought it was a matter of putting my hands on people and things would happen. And in fact, they did. Things happened almost immediately. But once I learned about the inner higher self that we all have, things started to change. I was aware of the ego and how I mentioned the ego. The ego is an interesting thing because you don't get rid of it. You mustn't get rid of your ego. You have to have this ego. To deal with humans, you need ego. Because ego protects us. In times of danger, ego will protect us. But ego is also an incredible obstacle with healing. Particularly with healing when you're trying to give. And the egos tell you, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, don't go near them, don't go near them, they're bad, blah, blah. You have to shed it. I've got a friend who refers to the ego as like having an attack dog. So you've got your attack dog with you, right? But how often do you need an attack dog? You know, I can't remember the last time I would have needed an attack dog, but it's there for you if you need it. But when we're doing this, we don't need it. So send your attack dog to bed and go for a lie down. If I said to you, right, we'll do a healing now, and I'll put my hands in your hands, you would feel nothing. Nothing would happen. But when I close my eyes and go into healing mode and contact the inner higher self, something starts to happen. Someone referred to it as you're charging up. Something happens and I invoke something with that inner higher self. Now we all have that inner higher self, all of us. Also, and Howard didn't mention this, but you do get help not just from within, but from without with healing. There are people, there are angels, there are beings, there are spirits, whatever you want to call them, who will work through the healer. I always say to everyone that I heal, sorry, let me start again. I always say to everyone I give a healing to, I don't heal them. Everyone that I work with, I always say this is your healing, therefore what you get is for you. Who you see is for you, what you feel is for you. If you see Mother Mary, she's for you, not me. So you get the help from without and you get the help from within. I do believe that every single one of us can heal. It's something I've learned. Now I know, and there are two in here, that I've done some healings recently, and it became absolutely apparent immediately that those two people were going to be healers. I'm not going to say who they are, they know they are. Just clear, just like that, just know. Something I've learned over the years. It's interesting. It's an interesting person who just needs this, maybe just to come to me this one time and be opened up. Like I found someone who did that to me, to identify me. I can't tell you, he's the most intelligent man in the world. I've never met anyone as intelligent spiritually. I can beat him at Jeopardy, right? But
well, we haven't played since you come over this time. I've been practicing.
Right. I usually give him a good thrashing, a good whapping, even with the American questions. But when it comes to spirituality, this man knows everything. I don't. All I do is what I do. 20 minutes or half hour, and you get what I have. But I don't do it. Okay? I don't do it. I'm there. I put my hands and I do a certain thing, and I put my hands in a certain place, but I do it the same place every time. If someone says to me, I've had terrible problems with my knee, then maybe I will spend a little time on the knee. But I'd sooner not know, because what happens is they will say to me, how did you know I had a problem with my knee? And I didn't. But they will. And he will. Or she will. Everyone can do it. And the idea of this is to try and help you bring that healer out. I don't really know what more to say about the inner self, because we've all got it. We all have it. Meditations will bring it out. But more, I do my prayers every morning. I won't tell you the ins and outs of what I ask for. But there are two things I ask for that I think everyone should ask for. One, please allow me to control the ego, my attack dog. Please allow me, please don't let it control me. And two, please remove this monkey mind. You know what I mean by the monkey mind? The grasshopper mind, the one that says, as you're just about to do something wonderful spiritual, you wonder, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Or who's winning the game? That. The curse, my curse is the monkey mind, more so than the ego. But they are my two wishes. Now, Howard may have a wonderful meditation or something to help us do that. If he has, I'd be really interested to know that, because I think if you can conquer those, then provided the intent is there, the intention is there to give the healing, you will be a healer. But lastly, there is one other thing. I get asked, I've been asked thousands of times, literally thousands of times, if I will teach someone to be a healer. The answer is no, because I don't think you can teach energy. I can show them what I do, but I can't show them how to get what I do. But what I can see is there are some people, and I'm sure no one in this room would be there, there are some people I wouldn't want to touch me with a 10-foot barge pole. I really wouldn't, because they carry so much negativity and darkness with them. You really wouldn't want their hands on you. But it's not that they're bad. I wouldn't want them touching me, but I'm more than happy to touch them in a healing situation, because maybe it will take some of that darkness out and help them along. Because if I've quoted any of you this, please excuse me if it's boring, I have an oxygen mask theory. You know, when you get on a plane and the air crew give you a demo on safety, and one of the things they say is, when the oxygen mask drops down, if you've got children with you, do you remember what they say? Do you remember what they say? You'd think they'd say, put your child first, because your child's in trouble, then you do your, no. You put the oxygen mask on your own face first, then your child. Because you're no darn good to that child if you're trying to put an oxygen mask and you can't breathe yourself. Put the oxygen mask on yourself, you breathe. And it's exactly the same with healing. Get yourself healed. Get the energy right. Get the darkness gone. Get the negativity out. Every one of you can be healed. Howard?
I have a question.
Yes, Jeff.
Like, before we do energy work, and you say, like, you need to, like, shed the ego and get rid of your ego so that you can do your energy work on your customer. Is it good enough just to have the intention of
course.
letting go of the ego?
Oh, absolutely.
The intention
Absolutely. The mere intent
that does
of getting rid of the ego means you're controlling the ego. It has to be. It has to be. The mere fact that you want to help that person and you're putting love into that person, you're on the way to conquering the ego immediately.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so if there is anyone who wants to ask anything about what I just said, then please ask. CeeLo.
Yes. You were talking about when you're, well, it's not you who's doing the healing, it's the higher consciousness or however you termed it. Could you explain the process of how you get into that state?
I can only speak for me. I sit down with both. We've had a healing, so you know what I do, and a lot of you in here have had healing with me, so you know what I do. It's the same thing every time. It's about 15, 20 minutes or so. I start off, the very first thing I do is I protect myself. Now, you're all wonderful, all of you. I know, you're lovely. But, I protect myself. And I protect myself. I was raised a Christian. I'm not a practicing Christian under any circumstances at all, believe me. But I still think the best way for me is that, because it's an acknowledgement that you're protecting yourself. Please protect me. Please allow me to put love and healing into this person. And please allow me to take out all this person's woes, pains, worries, fears, stress, anger, tiredness, illness, evil, negativity, everything. And please protect me. Then I put my hand on the head and I just wait. And it can be 5 seconds or I don't count, but I'm guessing it could be anything from a matter of seconds to 30 seconds until I just know it's the right time. And then whoever is there, I think will probably be there, and the inner higher self is ready to work. And I leave it to them. And that's when the ego, there's no ego there. And then it's 15, 20 minutes of sheer, I don't remember the healings normally afterwards because it's just done. That's all. Is that okay?
No. Thank you.
Back to that ego, Howard, and the monkey mind thing. That the monkey mind is so frustrating. Do you all recognise that? You know what that's like, don't you? It is so frustrating. Is there a good way of conquering the monkey mind?
Well, the mind or the brain, whatever you want to call that apparatus that's generating out thoughts, is going to happen. We're going to have thoughts. And what I was referring to earlier about thought directs energy and energy follows thought, it's having the understanding and the discipline to be able to choose for yourself those thoughts. So thoughts are going to happen. And the Buddhists, the way the Buddhists meditation, as far as being present, the mind is concerned, that they see the thoughts as like passing clouds. And as much as you can, what I referred to earlier, move into the spaciousness of your eternal light and your divine mind. See, the more you can expand out into that larger eternal mind, the more space and sky you have for those thoughts to move through. So if you do have thoughts that are separative thoughts or negative thoughts, okay, you see them. It's like a cloud passing by. If you judge that thought or you put yourself down for the thought, you're adding fuel to the fire, so to speak. So knowing that there's thoughts that's going to be generated, and I'm into the choosing of how I'm going to be present to my mind and to myself, because my mind is part of my expansive self. I want to create a mind that's vast and expansive. Give the thoughts the room to have the sky to move through, and then begin to choose and meditate into each day what Robert's referring to, making choices of how I'm present to myself and who I am. As in my perception, I begin to experience the eternal light that I am, the radiance and magnificence of God's creation expressing. Then those are going to be beautiful, empowering, nurturing thoughts. And when we're always dovetailing back into the healer, empowering the healer. Well, the healer that each of us are, we all have that inner physician healer within. And concurrently, I think there's somebody coming in here. Yeah. Welcome. So the healer that's within, that we're cultivating and opening up to, at the same time, we can be nourishing ourselves. We can have the intention of moving within and connecting to that inner physician healer. At the same time, though, we can also be doing service work. So when a being gets to an enlightened state, gets totally at one with God, and they fully have embodied that and vibrationally have integrated that, then they're just in service. They're just in healing service. Each of us, the healer within, we're healing ourselves. We still have to be present to every identity within ourselves that's not connected to the light. So that's the reason when we did the meditation, we brought the light down into the organs, and we allowed the organs to acknowledge the infusion of that light and connecting back into the divine and eternal light that we are. We're working and healing internally all the time. You know, the subatomic, the atomic, the molecular, the cellular, the organ, the body level, and all the inner bodies. Those are part of our beloved creation, the many kingdoms of God. And through our life experiences, this life and past lives, these identities have conditioning in them. They have some separation in them from trauma, from whatever we've gone through. And so we just allow those experiences to come up. And the deeper we take the light, the more we start to uncover the unconscious, and the more we continue to heal ourselves at deeper levels. So, and at the same time, always be thinking about acts of kindness. How can I serve others as I'm serving and healing myself?
Can I just say something?
Yeah, I was supposed to stop there for some reason.
I did this healing that we do, or if you're a hands-on healer like me, I had aura photograph taken of me before a healing, and I had an aura photograph taken of me after the healing, and it would appear that the healings are self-healing. My chakras were healthier, whatever you wanted to do, they were better aligned. My colors were lighter and better through the healing.
Yeah.
So it is self-healing. So it is a wonderful way of keeping fit. Now, I tell you what, I don't know where some wood. I've got to touch some somewhere because I haven't been to the doctor for, there you go. I haven't been to the doctors for like 5 hits. At my age, you know, I just haven't been to the doctor, which is amazing. And it is, I'm sure, due to that. Howard has a wonderful phrase he uses, and I'm sorry that I've said it before he does today. Serve ye first the kingdom of heaven. And you know what? It's a wonderful phrase.
And all else shall follow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're prepared to put others first, if you're prepared to sacrifice things to do the good work, it's amazing how you're looked after.
Yeah, and Robert's point's well taken, because what you sow is what you're going to reap. So you get up and you have clients coming in and you're present to them, and they'll bring in all kinds of experiences and stories and conditions. And as you're present to them, as you're working with them, they're experiencing their own healing, and it's coming right back through you. So it's like what we put out there is always part of our healing. The service work is always part of the healing. There's an old Buddhist saying that says, all suffering comes from trying to make myself happy, and all joy comes from making others happy. See, when you're in that place of expanded healing service, when you're in that place, life is just blessing you all the time. It's just blessing you all the time. Yeah.
Another thing with the healing, the person you're healing has to believe that you're going to heal them. They have to. It's pointless even starting if they have a resistance. I always say to them, you don't actually have to believe, but what you mustn't do is believe it won't work. One of my greatest this is not an ego thing, I promise you, but one of my greatest ever successes was a little lad of 7 who had incurable liver disease, and his mum, I was a bit of a last resort, and I did one healing with him. And then I went off. That was in Georgia, and I went off down to Florida, and I got a phone call about 3 weeks later. His liver had been completely healed. He got up to Cincinnati, and they checked him out. All the scars had gone from his ears. But the interesting thing was that little lad, he didn't even know he was having a healing. He was sitting there, he was playing with his toys. At the end, I said, "Oh, Jake, were the hands hot?" He said, "No." "I want to go, Mum." And off they went. And it worked. He didn't know. I'm not a Bible, I'm not a great expert on the Bible, but I always think of the story when Jesus was walking along with his disciples and the Roman centurion came to him. And forgive me if this is wrong or I'm paraphrasing or whatever, but the gist is there. The Roman centurion said, "Master, will you come to my house because my servant is ill? I know that you can cure him." And Jesus said, "No, because your faith has healed him." And the man was cured. And that's a wonderful story. And healing of this sort that we do is very much about belief and knowing and accepting and allowing. Yes.
Question. Have you ever, or maybe when you first started, forgotten to protect yourself, specifically with maybe your close friends or your family?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Does that have impact on you?
I just started, if I may, if I'm okay for a couple of minutes, just I'll tell you about the first healing I ever did, and then one just a little down the line. The first healing I ever did, I'd just been told I was going to be a healer. At the time, I was still a drinker, and a heavy drinker. And I was around a buddy's apartment in London, and we were writing a quiz for our pub, a pop music quiz. And we'd had a bottle of wine each. And we were just on the second bottle each. And I said to him, "Oh, I need to tell you something." I said, "I'm going to be a healer." And he looked at me and said, "Yeah, right, okay." I said, no, seriously, I've been told I'm a healer. And then I told him how Mary had appeared to me. I hadn't told anyone because I was a normal bloke, and blokes sitting in a pub in London don't tell that the Virgin Mary suddenly appeared to them. You just don't say anything, because they think you'd lost it. So I just told this guy here, we were sitting there, I said, I'll be a healer. He said, oh, okay, that's right. He said, well, I've got my bad foot. And I said, yeah. And what happened, he was a few years older than me. And he got this terrible pain in his ankle. And he'd gone to the doctors that week, and the doctor said, sorry, there's nothing we can do. It will get worse, and you will need a stick. And I said, well, I'm going to be a healer. He said, okay. And he whipped off his shoe, whipped off his sock, put his foot up on my knee as he was sitting there, and I just held it. Like that. And he said, hey, your hands are hot, mate. And so I held it there for a couple of minutes. Is it finished? Okay. Yeah, he put his sock back on, poured the wine. He never had the pain again. He's never had that pain again. He doesn't need the stick. So everything I did was wrong. I did not wash my hands. I'd been whatever we've been doing all night. I didn't protect myself. I didn't ask for any help. I just did it and finished and just went straight back into drinking. But it worked. I eventually summoned up the nerve to tell my sisters. I've got 4 sisters, 4 older sisters. And 2 of them came to me for healing. And they came in my little apartment. One of them turned up, Anne, and she came in, and I did the healing. Halfway through the healing, my sister Maureen turned up. So I stopped the healing, walked around, let her in, she came in, I finished the healing with Anne, and just okay, and started straight on Maureen. I was so, I don't know, arrogant or whatever. They went. I have no memory of the rest of that night. Apparently I phoned Dolly, that's my better half. I called her and said, something's happening here. I can't think, I can't stand. She contacted the lady who told me I was going to be a healer named Peggy. If you ever read my book, she's referred to as Betty in the book. Dolly called Peggy, and Peggy said he's got to get under the shower, and she laid into me when I saw her. She really did tear me off a strip. The following day, I got up and I drove to see a customer, and I was drunk. I was driving, I hadn't had a drink. It was from this absolute cavalier attitude of going out and protecting myself, taken one energy, kept it, not got rid of it, didn't do any of that and the cleansing or anything, and went straight into the sex. So I had 2 healings in me. I'd done everything wrong, and I drove to work to see a client drunk. I never forget that morning. And ever since then, I've never ever tried that. That was ego. That was ego. So I've never again. I would never do a healing now. If one of you said, I'm in terrible trouble, I would have to go and wash my hands and prepare and protect myself, because I just couldn't do it. It's a very dangerous area. Very, very dangerous. And I could have hurt them. Of course, my second sister had all the energy and all the nastiness from the first one, putting it back in her. So totally wrong.
Thank you.
So, if you're going to be doing healing, there is always the invitation of how to prepare for healings and how to get yourself ready vibrationally. And there's various things that you can do. What Robert was talking about with the water, washing the hands off and disengaging the energy from one client to the next, not taking somebody's energy that you've already worked with into the next session. So, that's essential. Preparation in the morning through meditation. Some of the things that I do is I unify with my clients, my higher self to their higher self, and I'll just ask. Different times in my life, I've worked with different beings on the inner planes. Here recently, I've been working with like a triad of Moses and Jesus and Elijah coming in. And I just asked them to come with me, these ascended masters, to come with me. And I asked that they, before clients show up, that they give a healing of the highest order to whoever is going to be coming. In other words, the session's already begun early in the morning. I get up early in the morning. And when I see people during the day, the 85% of the communication's already been done. It's already been set up. So that preparation, you know, it's like when I was a small child, my dad was a coach and my uncle, and I was so into playing baseball. I'd get up in the morning and I'd start putting my uniform on, I'd put my socks on, I'd look at it and think of the game, and all day long I see the clouds, oh, it doesn't rain, you know, it's like I was preparing all day for this ball game. So when the ball game came, man, I was there, you know, I was there. So the empowerment of the healer within is like, here's my intention. Here's my commitment to doing the very highest, best I can do. If you ever read the Ruiz books and the 4 Agreements, one is always do the best you can do no matter what it is. Do your best, bring your best forward. So it's like making that commitment where you don't hold back. You go into each particular healing you go into, and you're not leaving anything on the playing field. You're giving your highest and your best. Now, here's a major thing. A major thing is you've prepared, you've done the inner work, you've given the best session you can give, and that person walks out the door. That's it. Your role's done. Their higher self, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call that divine aspect of life that always holds us and loves us into back home into our oneness, is with that person. The results may look like the person's getting worse or the person's getting better. It doesn't make any difference. Bring as a healer, as a person who's present to life, because you're a healer, whether you're in a treatment room or whether you're out there in the street in the grocery line, you're always there bringing your best. You're always bringing the light there. So it's like aligning. It's like aligning with your purpose. And once you align with your purpose, there's no holding back. And so once there's no holding back, then all these forces of an unseen nature just come to you. Call them intermediaries, call them angels, whatever. They're there. Because you say, God, I'm going to do my highest, going to do my best. And in that, the blessings are innumerable. Because in that, in the sowing of that field, in the preparation of that field, in the preparation of myself, in the meditation in the morning, in the sowing of that energy and that presence, there's blessings happening all the time. That person's being blessed, I'm being blessed. Where two are gathered in my name. That's where the saying comes from. Is that our intention is to hold each other's hand and to walk to God together, to walk in that eternal light together. And so the other aspect of preparation that I find essential is preparing, if you are in a healing practice, wherever your healing practice is, to prepare your field. You know, we did a little brief meditation of just being present, coming into the present moment before we started. We were sort of preparing the field. We were like, slow down and move into the stillness. The other part of preparing a field is that there's a number of different ways of doing it. Yet you want to create the highest frequency of unified light that you can in your home or in your treatment rooms. There's different ways of working. Like I work in a 6-directional flow with star tetrahedron with 4 archangels coming in from 4 directions, and planetary logos Gaia coming up from below, and Metatron, this Lord of Light, coming down from above. And these pyramids, I use about 2,800-foot crystal blue-white pyramids. They come in and they interlock in my home. And so the field it's there. I always embellish it. I always go into it and meditate into it and amplify it. And so when people are coming there, hopefully they're coming into a temple of light. They're coming into a field that really holds them. What does that do for them? It holds the field that they relax into, that they let go into. It also helps my body, it helps my consciousness to know that I'm intentionally creating this unified field of light. So you want optimal healing results, you have to prepare your field. You know, we came in here and there was a lot of things going on in here, a lot of divergent energies. Well, we vacuumed, we let the flow move. We eventually got our field to a place where it settled down, where we had a unified field, where we're all here together in one divine mind, one aspect of eternal light. So that's essential too, is to understand that your field and how you can work with your light and expand your light out through your field. You can expand like a star in your heart center. I work with the crystal orange, crystal yellow star, and I expand it out through my body and out through my field. Maybe, I'll just say 50 feet out spherically in all directions. And that crystal orange, crystal yellow light has a vibration to it. It has a unified field to it. And if I feel like there's energies in the field that aren't conducive to the experience, whether that's a personal healing or a group workshop, then I can work with crystal orange, crystal yellow consuming fires to say whatever these divergent energies are, whatever this is in the field that doesn't serve the highest good for all of us, we release that into those consuming fires. And then as that burns and transmutes, we just let that crystal orange, crystal yellow light infuse our field and hold us in that field of light. So calling forth the empowerment of healing, it's a multifaceted thing. It's work on ourselves, always going a little deeper, always as the deeper we go, the more we expand out. So it's ourself, it's our work with others, and always seeing what's the next act of kindness I can do. It's being conscious of our field. It's being conscious. It's being conscious and being in the moment and bringing your best forward. That unleashes the healer within. That unlocks the many gifts that each of us have to share with each other. Any questions? Yes.
This one isn't, it's just a technical question, I suppose. We have this recorded, and right now it's a private video on YouTube, but since you ladies were coming in a little bit later, I was wondering if it was okay with you guys. If you wanted to give me your email so I can send them the video.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, if they want,
Yes,
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Questions? Comments? Epiphanies? Yes, in the back.
You were talking about the crystal.
Could you stand up and have your name, please?
My name's Robin,
Hi, Robin.
and then when you were talking about the crystal orange light that you were portraying.
Yeah, crystal orange, crystal
and you were
yellow.
Talking about the frequency with it.
Mhm.
I've heard of like the violet flame that you can breathe in and let out. Is that similar?
Yeah, working with the violet light. Sometimes they refer to the violet light as the flame of Saint Germain. And you can work with any of the frequencies of the light within. It's called Agni, A-G-N-I yoga, inner light yoga. And you can work. See, if you and I were totally clairvoyant, we would just see this rainbow bridge of light going down through our bodies. So we are this light. So what we want to do is bring to life through the experience the light that we are. So by working with the various frequencies of light, it's a beautiful blessing to our soul to open to those experiences. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Do people, my name's Irene, tend to come more for physical healings, or do you see people coming for emotional healings or mental healings? I mean, what is there
Well, I tend not to ask why people come. If people want to volunteer why they're there, for an 8 here or something, because I do the same healing every time. Because I have the belief, without the ego, I have the belief that they will get exactly what they need. I don't tend to ask what's wrong with them. It's everything. You have bereaved people, you have desperately depressed people, people in physical pain, mental pain, the lost and the lonely. I used to work at a church in London, and Tuesday afternoons, and so it was free healing, and people would just come in. We'd have lines of them some afternoons. I mean, it was like the lost and the lonely. It was some people, you knew that they were all on their own. So we get the lonely as well. It's for everyone. So all sorts, absolutely. And people who, nothing wrong with them at all. We get people coming who want a shot of energy. It seems to just give them what they need.
It's hard to imagine that nothing's wrong at all.
Pardon?
As a human being, it's hard to imagine nothing's wrong at all.
Yeah, you do get, but you do, yeah, that's right. You know, you're right. So, and the funny thing is,
And good on them. That's true. Good on them.
Well, if there was nothing wrong at all, of course, they would probably feel nothing from the healing, but of course they do. So there is obviously something that needs a little bit of adjusting or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there, you know, we're talking about empowering the healer within, and we're all going to have our particular ways of being present to our own healing and being present to how we're going to hold the space for others to come into their healing. So there's different ways. Each of you, as you move into the empowerment of that healer within you, will find your own way of holding that space, of being present to whatever process that you're inspired to be present to. There's a lot of different ways of doing it. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we hear a little bit about your story. I don't know that I've really heard much about your story, but you know, how does one? Okay, so you had some people come to you, and you know they're healers, or you know. How does one bring that to fruition? I mean, how does one, bring that into being? Okay, you were working on somebody, they're healers, or, and you had your journey, and you had your journey. I don't know much about that one, but how does that come about then?
What do they do?
Yes, exactly. How does a person, okay, I work on you, and, and I can know that you're a healer.
Yeah.
And you are, and I'm going to tell you that, or bless you, or something. Okay, how does that happen for that person then? How does that happen?
Well, it happened to me when I was told I was going to be, the lady who told me I was going to be a healer would get friends of hers round, and guinea pigs, right? I would practice on them, and you get your act together, you professionalize a bit, and I was never instructed what to do, but what happened to me is, by interesting circumstances, I met the man who ran a healing church. So he invited me. And my feeling is that anyone, and all of you could be healers, I really say it, as long as you get you're right in yourselves. But there's just some that you see immediately, you think they're ready. I would have this person, I'd sit down now, and that person would put their hands on me, and I'd be 100% happy with it. That person, something will happen to that person. They'll meet someone, or I would say to them, okay, in England, I don't know about the USA, but in England, spiritualist churches are great places to go and get grounding, because they all have healing. Tuesdays and Thursdays or something, come here, go there. You can join healing courses. I'm insured. You have to be registered in the UK. You have to be registered, and then you get insurance, because litigation, while still not quite as heavy as it is in the USA, is big. So if you accidentally touch, say, the wrong part of a lady as you wanted to sue you, they'll give you legal backup on it. So something will happen, or you can seek out places. What I would say to anyone who thinks they want to be a healer is, well, if they know me or Howard, come and talk to us, maybe we can point them, but come here, come to Peace of Me, because Jody will probably be able to point them in the right direction, or to a New Age store, New Age shop, healing, any holistic center. You've all got it. We need more. The world needs more healers. There ain't enough. So, you know, if anyone is interested in doing it, I'll be delighted to try and find out some places around here. But talk to Jody or someone, or in Johnstown, I wouldn't mind betting there are some stores like this. Or no?
Is there?
They don't last long. They don't last long.
Okay.
There's none that I'm aware of, and I'm pretty connected and. No, there's nothing.
There's nothing in
There might
Johnstown.
have been at one time, but they sort of come and go.
Well, maybe you ladies should start.
Okay, Debbie, you're retired. I'm not retired.
Maybe you should start a healing
Maybe
circle.
I
Maybe this is exactly what you should be doing.
I will say that we have no place like this, but I feel that we need a place like this. And I am working full-time, but I'm not going to be changing that for my financial future in the near couple years. I'm unable to change my current full-time job. Let me put it that way.
Or what you're so vested. You're vested in the financial.
I'm going to see it to retirement.
There you go.
I'm going to finish up at retirement.
Yeah.
And then I'll join you.
Yeah.
But you go right ahead.
in 5 years.
I'll help in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, while I'm in the USA, I'd be pleased to help. If I'm around, if anyone's around here and they want to talk about healing, or they want to start looking at maybe getting into healing or starting a healing place, come and talk to us.
A healing store or healing. So I'm thinking to myself, what do you do? Just hang a shingle out? Do you sell things, or do you just have
Person right behind you over your left
You know,
shoulder.
do we just have, I'm just saying you should have all different stores. Is it just for healing energy, or do you have a few things?
There's healing, Reiki, massage, there's meditation. Everything would take place in this store within reason.
But you can do it from your home. You can get a Reiki table and do sessions right from your living room. And if you start the
She's done
energy treatment now, then when you retire, you'll have a client base that will look to.
We've had a Reiki healing circle for about 20 years, and we certainly meet in my living room. And the 20 years of people have passed away and moved away, and we have a smaller group now than we did 20 years ago. But just saying that we certainly have met in people's living rooms, and like I said, people have passed away and moved away, but we have a small healing group left.
Have you thought about opening it up again to the public, and then your client base would then slowly come to you? You've got to put that calling out there that you're ready for it.
And that would be on Debbie's table as my full-time work allows me to I have one evening a week at my house, and for the people I'm not able to open that to the public in my life of maintaining my own balance.
Your house, I guess.
Yes, and
So when we're being present to the empowering the healer within, it can take a lot of different forms. It can take a whole organizational form and structure, like Piece of Me, which is no small task to put together an organization like this. There's a special calling to have a facility that caters to the public. And the other part of that is empowering the healer within will be individual for each of us, and how we are present to that within ourselves and how we share it. So just by some of the things we've talked about today, as far as perception is concerned, and how to open your heart to the eternal light, begin to meditate into empowering yourself. Your ministry may not be a regular healing practice, so to speak. It can just be, see, the fact of the matter is, whether you have a Piece of Me bookstore, healing center, or you're a licensed acupuncturist, or you're a healer of laying on of hands, or whatever you are, it doesn't really make any difference. It really doesn't. Where the essential aspect of healing comes from is within you and your intention and your commitment to be present to yourself and God, and to open yourself up to that radiance and magnificence and light. And then walking down the street, you're a temple of light. at the grocery store line. There's opportunities all over the place. Each of us will have our own individual inspiration and calling to whatever that is. The ticket home, though, is that this is all of our work. This is all of our work, is to come home to that light and to that power and that radiance and that God within. That's awakening the healer within. You know, so I wouldn't be so concerned about the structure or the form as I would say, okay, I'm coming home, God. I'm ready. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to do my work here, you know, and I know it has its own sacred personal process with myself. I accept that, just like I asked you about what your meditative experience is. You have a sacred meditative experience. You have your own empowered healer within emerging and arising as you say, God, I'm ready to come home. I ask that the Holy Spirit and the grace of God bless me with those beings to come into my life to help facilitate that, to be present to that. And I'm going to share that with others. I'm ready to be seen, God. I'm not holding back anymore. I'm not going to be in the contractions. Not going to judge myself because judgment is a big roadblock. I'm going to open to the radiance and light and love that I am. I'm ready to go now. Ready to rock and roll. So the invitation is out for all of us. The intermediaries, the beings of light are here. They're saying, come on, let's go. Like Robert was saying, we're waiting on you here. We can't do it without you. We can't do it without you, see? Yeah.
I must say, and I think I have friends from home, I've heard, I think they said the same thing. I've heard they say. Just bring this for our church people help to we've been trying just one
where he's guiding us.
Yes,
to where he is guiding.
And so that's what I guess that's what we're doing here, because I pray for at home a unity church, a spiritualist church, and any kind of church that can do something you know like this, or people that can do. So I've prayed for that guidance and help and wisdom, because we've certainly been doing things, but just felt I needed some help. So I've been asking for that for a while in Johnstown. So anyway, ended up in Cumberland for a while now, but so I guess that's all part of the process. But yeah, I mean, just a unity church, a spiritual church, what is that place? This church that's closed. But I do a Search for God study group, Edgar Casey study group at my house every other week. So kind of the Reiki Healing Circle people are living far away and passed away and things. So the new thing that we've been working with is the Search for God study group, Edgar Casey. So we started one of those about a year ago, and meeting every other week with that. But yeah, I just felt for a long time I needed some guidance, some help, and the help was the healing within, so that I can do more in life in general. So it was about the healing within that frees you to do more, but also was praying and asking for mentors, spiritualist churches, whatever, something like that, locally where we live, so we don't have to drive to Pittsburgh and here to there to just wherever.
What did they say in was it Field of Dreams, that wonderful movie?
Yeah, build it,
and they will come.
That's a very good movie.
It is. It's very,
That's
very
one of my
profound.
favorites.
It's very profound. And it's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Kenneth, thank you for that sharing.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. And I think you expressed for the whole group the call for help. You know, I'm ready. I'm looking for it. I'm waiting for it. We all are. You know, we're all asking. We're all asking at different levels for help, for support. You know, Sometimes I know in my personal life, I've had to go as far as Yucatan in Mexico. I've had to travel to Brazil, see John of God. You know, I've had to go different places to receive whatever the healings and the communication and information was for me. You know, sometimes it just doesn't happen in the place I was living. And at the same time, I still open and say, I'd like to have it right here available for me now. So, you know, I believe you really spoke for the group there very powerfully, and I really appreciate your tears and your emotion. They touch me. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think it's about the help and the mentoring and the healing,
Mm-hmm.
help and the, I don't know, guidance, teaching, whatever. But and then I guess the other part of the help we're asking for that we may or may not even know is the healing from within, so that we can be not contracted and letting go of the ego and opening to the light of, you know, filled with the light of God, to be the, you know, healing presence at the grocery store or the workplace or the home place. I mean, so it's a combination of guidance, mentors, spiritual churches, but also then, I guess, the help you're asking for, and you don't even realize it sometimes, is the stuff that you don't even realize that's in here that needs to be let go of, to allow you to be open to being the light and love of God in the healing room, or, like I said, you're in the grocery store. So and I guess that is just a completely ongoing journey of letting go of that ego and letting go of those contractions and fearful parts of ourselves to be the light and love. I guess that's just an ongoing journey, because sometimes I feel like, you know, how many more years do I have to?
Well, here's the thing about perception. We can hold it of how many years we have in this incarnation. Am I doing my soul purpose? Am I going to accomplish what I came here for? And that's one way of looking at it. You know, we have a moment of agreement, a soul contract coming here. We want to be conscious of that, you know, living that soul agreement and being all we can be. And the other part of it is that we're eternal. We're infinite. It's open-ended. I don't have to contract back down in this incarnation and say, am I going to get the job done? I'm in the spaciousness of my eternal self. If I don't do it in this lifetime, I'm going to do it in another lifetime or do it someplace else. I keep everything open-ended so I don't contract myself down into the fear that I'm not doing it right or getting it done, because they're dead-end streets. Keep your heart open to the spaciousness of life and the eternal movement of the living light that you are. That'll bide you well in your own healing and your own expression of life. Yeah.
And I'd also like to add that sometimes you have to think too, because I'm sort of in the same boat that you're, like, wow, it's happened to me sort of later in life than growing up as a teenager and manifesting it a whole life. And I figure, I'm starting to look at it now, I had to experience those things to get me where I am now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
49, me. 49 when Mary appeared. So I had 49 years of 30 of them were spent boozing and doing whatever guys do. So I was 49. So most of you here have got plenty of time to get it together.
God waits with infinite patience.
And maybe it is only one person that you've healed, but maybe that person was the destiny to be healed, to provide other things for other people.